anymore. Thank you for coming to your old nanny's rescue. That blasted hound is more trouble than he's worth. He is. And don't start with me. You've gotten all you're getting today. But what about you, my lord? Been keeping safe and well behaved, I hope?
That would be boring. Why would I say anything but yes? Of course I have.
Good. I'm not exactly privy to your goings-on now that you're grown. Just an old nanny, never invited to your father's fancy meetings. Do you remember that bedtime tale I used to tell you, the dog that bit?
I remember it.
Good. Then you can start.
Oh, bollocks. In a dark and murky world, there was a smelly cook. Before our fathers came down from the mountains.
A warhound was born to the elder bitch of a tribal chief. They named him Hahaku and gave him everything. He grew up a fine, strong pup, destined to be the partner of the chief's eldest son.
I gave him everything. Haku grew prideful.
The young hound became arrogant, taking food from his kin and warning them, in the way of dogs, that the chief's family would punish them if they tried to attack him. Years passed, and the time for the chief's son to take a warhound came closer. Hahaku's pride swelled, and many of the people of the tribe came to the chief, quietly whispering of this dog's bullying. With each complaint, the chief saw only Hahaku's strength and pride, and sent his people away. But as his son grew, the chief watched more closely. The day might come when his boy's life would depend on this dog. If the humblest of his people would not trust Hahaku, how could he?
Good point. I'm thirsty, I'll just go get a drink. Hahaku's own misdeeds bit him.
When the day came, Hahaku sat proudly waiting to be called, but the old chief chose Hahaku's brother as his son's hound. Hahaku was shamed, but felt no remorse. So great was his rage that he darted across the fire pit and bit the chief's hand.
Bold move. He should have waited until the chief was alone. That was a mistake.
The chief and his son struck at Hahaku, cursing him. The hound ran into the village, seeking shelter in the tents and kennels. The other dogs snapped at him, and the tribe's people threw stones at him. Before the chief could reach him, the tribe had torn Hahaku apart.
Yikes.
Now, what should you carry from this tale?
How you treat the least is remembered by the greatest. The weak pull down the strong when they can. No one is above justice. Respect all equally. Old nurses tell boring stories. Don't abuse me. No one is above justice.
Precisely. The tribe and their dogs granted the chief and his dogs their authority. When they saw that Hahaku was unworthy, they turned on him. But you're far too old now for an old woman to be reminding you to watch how you behave, hmm?
Why did you tell me that story? You aren't comparing my Mabari to Hahaku, are you? Thank you for the story, it's thoughtful of you. Or, yes, I am too old. Thank you for the story, it was thoughtful of you.
It's a story worth repeating. That's all. Be off with you then. Tell your brother farewell before he rides off to war.
Well, thank you, Nan. Alrighty. Let's see, is there a map? Library. Study. Didn't they say they were going into the study? Let's have a look in here. Oh, books. Librarian. Book.
This should be easy enough.
This should be easy enough. Books. History of Ferelden, chapters 1 and 2. Alright, let's have a quick look in the codex for those of you who are interested in reading that sort of thing. Creatures. Rat. Okay, that should give you some time to do that. Culture and history. History of Ferelden, chapter 1. Alright, again, as before, those of you who want to read it, feel free to pause and read through it. There we go. Chapter 2. It looks like it's about the occupation of Ferelden by the Orlesian Empire. Okay, what's this? Dogs in Ferelden. Brother Genitivi. I think we meet him later. The Grey Wardens. Alright, let's have a look at this. Characters. Barkspawn. I called him Barkspawn because in the Darkspawn Chronicles you play as the Darkspawn and you eventually face off against all of the heroes from this game, with the exception of your player character, because the point is, I think, that Duncan never found the third recruit that he was looking for, so there was no new Grey Warden. So the other companions end up travelling together, and when you come across the dog, who's with Alistair and Morrigan and Liliana, or whatever her name is, the dog is called Barkspawn, which I thought was awesome. And I think that is from a Penny Arcade comic. Controls, don't need the controls. Okay, mark was red. Okay, so who's this librarian guy?
Good evening, my lord.
Oh, you haven't got anything useful to say. Aldous.
Hello, my dear boy.
Well, hello.
By chance, I am beginning to teach these young squires about your family's history.
Do we have to? History is boring.
You obnoxious
Boys,
shitbag.
you are referring to the Couslands, the very family in whose castle you live. Show some respect.
Damn straight. He could do with some discipline.
Perhaps you could help me with that. Might you join me in teaching this lesson?
Certainly, I'd be happy to.
Wonderful. Oh, the Cousland history is long indeed. Where shall we start?
When was our line founded?
Records are vague, but the Couslands became Tierns during the Black Age. Is that familiar, child?
During the lycanthrope plagues?
Good. I'm pleased some of my lessons seem to have stuck. At that time, your family held only the minor title of Ban. When the werewolves reached this area, Ban Mather Cousland organized a curfew and patrols within the city. Several other local bands supported his efforts by swearing oaths of fealty, making him their Tiern.
We predate the founding of the kingdom, yes?
Well, I'm glad some of my lessons don't disappear into that yawning chasm between your ears, young man.
Your skill as tutor, of course. Your lecturing does lead to yawning. I'm doing the best I can. It's your skill as a tutor, of course.
If I were truly a skilled tutor, I suspect I would not encounter such insouciance amongst my pupils. You can look that up later. At any rate, your family has held the Tourneur of High Ever since before King Callan had united Ferelden. In fact, Tierna Elethea Cousland battled Callanhad to maintain High Ever's independence.
We opposed the king?
Well, the Couslands are ardent royalists now, but at that time, Calenhad was unknown and considered dangerous by many. When Calenhad's army reached Highever, Tierna Elethea led the local bands against him. Obviously, Calenhad won.
And Calenhad let us keep the Ternia?
Calenhad wished to unite Ferelden, not conquer it. After Elethea's men were defeated, Calenhad asked her to swear fealty. The boulder where they held council still stands today as a memorial of that event.
Tell them about our relationship with Alhau.
The history between the Couslands and the House reaches back to the Orlesian occupation.
Go on.
During the rebellion against Orlais, several battles were fought near Highever. The port village of Harper's Ford was the Ternier's center. Its Arl was Tarleton Howe. Though nearly 90, he was still as sharp and bitter as cheap ale. Your grandfather openly supported the rebellion, but Howe sided with Orlais. Your family was forced to seize Harper's Ford before it was all over.
Collaborators. We fought the Hounds.
Your grandfather couldn't afford to lose Harper's Ford. In keeping the town, your family drove Orlais from its lands. The Howes eventually joined the rebellion, when all of Ferelden united behind King Merrick and General Logain. Just as now we united behind Merrick's son, King Cailan, to fight the Darkspawn.
Time to end the lesson.
Thank you for indulging an old man.
Oh, it's all right.
Does that mean we have to listen to you now?
Silence! I will not have you two becoming smart-mouthed hooligans. Perhaps you should go. I doubt they need any more distraction. I'm just going to settle in here and apparently just talk to myself for all the good I'm doing. Don't ask myself all this. Why do you do this?
Mother says the Darkspawn will all be killed and I won't see one. Is that true?
Maybe.
Mother says the Darkspawn will all be
twins
killed
as
and
well.
I won't see one. Is that true?
There's a book. Alright, let's have a quick look at the codex again. What's new? Culture and history. Culture of Ferelden. There you go, for those of you who want to pause and read. Looks like it's written by someone from Orlais, so it's bound to be biased. Geography of Ferelden. There you go. Noble families of Ferelden. Okay. That looks like everything.
Hello again. Your castle study is wonderful. Might I ask whose collection this is?
It was my grandfather's, but I come here often to read.
So would I. Do you have a favorite book?
The Dragons of Teventer by Brother Timaeus.
Good choice. Timaeus' theory on the nature of dragons and how they connect to Darkspawn is quite intriguing.
So you're going to be riding with my father tomorrow?
Yes, though I don't know when. I will leave when your father does. I'll ride as his second. A glorified squire, more or less. I'll care for his horse and armor and such. It's quite an honor.
You consider it an honor to do menial tasks?
Unlike you, I am no child of a great house. If I can rise within the ranks of your father's service, it is more than I could normally hope for. I'm a bit surprised that you're not riding alongside your brother. Is that disappointing?
I have important duties here at the castle.
True enough. This is no small estate like my